You found me among the ashes. Broken. I did not understand why you helped me. But now, I see. You are a leader. Where you build, people flock. And yet, I see only ruin. Vengeance calls me. I shall answer. Fate shall know my name. I am Freya, warrior of the Aesir. Even the strong can be led astray. Find them. Lead us to glory.
The Age of Heroes is upon us, releasing today, October 17th. I want to run you through everything that has changed with Conan Exiles starting today. What's up, everybody? My name is Whack, and thank you for joining me for this video. I do have to let you know that this is sponsored content. I'd like to thank Funcom for sponsoring this video. However, that is not going to change my thoughts and opinions on this new patch, so here we go. The new additions to Conan Exiles with this update are number 1, companions. You can now rescue recruitable unique followers such as Freya and Lu Fei in the exiled lands. Contrary to what may be popular belief, the new companions are not the heroes. You are the hero rescuing them from their dire situation. Now with that, I have guides for obtaining both Freya and Lu Fei. I'll link those in the description of this video if you want to go and see how exactly to obtain each one of these new followers. Lu Fei and Freya both come with their own unique perks to unlock based on your actions during their questlines. The other big change that comes with this update is living settlements. Your crafter thralls now are no longer an item that you simply place in a bench and they live out their life on the bench. You now place them into the world and they are allowed to walk around your base. Now with that comes some cool features. You can actually dress them however you want and equip them with weapons that you want them to have. They are at risk in PvP and in PvE of being killed during certain times and engagements. So if you're in a PvP raid, they are thralls that will fight or try to hide during those engagements. But keep in mind that they can now be killed. So it's important to gear them up properly for whatever interaction may be happening at your base, such as a purge coming to your base location. If those purge enemies make it inside your base, they will attack any followers in the area, including your crafters. Something to keep in mind with this is that your craftsmen can open doors just like the tavern patrons, and there is no setting currently that you can use to shut this off. So if you're like me, you may have to do some tweaking on your base to make sure that your followers are not opening your exterior doors to go to another location, allowing other people to enter your base. However, there is a server-wide toggle that has been added for living settlements, so if you decide that you don't want to partake in that, you can simply turn that off. Cages and jailers have been added to the exiled lands. Now, this is something that's been on the Isle of Sipta for quite some time. However, you can now find jailers with keys to these cages in the exiled lands, and in those cages you can find barkeepers, so you no longer have to engage in the purge in order to get a barkeeper. While we're on the subject of barkeepers, there is a bug that happened with the update that made barkeepers disappear. I know I had both of my barkeepers disappear on my solo game. I'm not sure that Funcom is actually going to be able to revert that and fix that in any way, so my suggestion is just start heading out to these cages in order to find yourself a new barkeeper. Now, with living settlements in particular, it's important to understand that it is all fake. There is not a single resource that's going to be used by your followers when they are completing different actions. So if they go to eat, you are not actually losing food while they're eating. It's just a ambiance that's been added to the game. Under gameplay changes, something that you might notice and that I'm really actually excited about is that followers and pets will now take food from the thrall pot and the feed box. This is something that has gone back and forth throughout the years of changes to Conan Exiles, but I'm glad to see that the thrall pot is actually there to feed your followers. So you can set it up at your purge base and make sure that everyone has food for those purge interactions. You no longer have to go to each and every thrall making sure that they have food. You can simply apply food to the thrall pot or the feed box if you have pets in order to keep them fed so that they can stay healthy. Under bug fixes, the Forgotten Tribe and cursed NPCs now have correct natural armor values. So a few patches ago there was an issue where the Forgotten Tribe and the accursed NPCs actually got more difficult to fight because their armor values were heavily increased, and so it was much harder to kill them. You should have a much easier time going through and clearing out the Forgotten and accursed tribes. They said that they have fixed the issue where you could fall through the map upon respawn. I'm not 100% confident that that's actually fixed. This is a issue that just re-emerges on a regular basis. They also don't talk anything about falling through foundations, so it's likely that that is still an issue, so keep that in mind when you're loading in. The Battle Pass and the challenges for the Battle Pass are gone at this point in time, so if you didn't finish it, it is totally gone now and you will no longer be able to finish it. However, they have said that at some point in time they are planning on making items that were in previous battle passes available to players, likely through the Bazaar store, which currently has a really cool item in it. Honestly, it's probably one of the coolest items that I've seen in some time, which is the Argosian Observatory building sets and the Corinthian Observatory Lounge. Both of those things I think are really cool building pieces, and I'm actually quite surprised that they don't have the sale listed on the Bazaar store right now for that item. I'm hoping that we get away from seeing that slashed through the price and a new price on there, because honestly I don't think I've ever seen that original price listed for any of these items. I've always only seen them at the sale price. Something else that I noticed with the store right now is each different set of pieces inside the Argosian Observatory set have prices on them. Now, I couldn't figure out a way to actually purchase just the pieces that I wanted to. Maybe that's something they'll add in the future, or maybe those selection of pieces will be available for that price in the future. Something that wasn't mentioned in the patch notes, but I'm going to tell you about it because it actually changes the information that was in my previous videos, is the melee and ranged damage modifiers for the companions. So Freya's melee damage modifier is 2.08 and her ranged damage modifier is 1.92. Lu Fei, who had an absolutely enormous damage modifier in the beta, has been changed to a melee damage modifier of 1.716 and a ranged damage modifier of 1.584. before. I'm not surprised to see this change, and I took them both out on an adventure today. That's what you've been watching, and I feel like both of them did rather well in their scenarios with the perks that I chose to have on each one of them. So if you're not sure how to get certain perks or which perks are the best for either of those followers, remember those guides are linked in the description of this video. As of right now, I haven't played the game enough to know what other bugs or issues may be in the game, so I can't give you any idea of what you may be facing on your server, on your gameplay. So keep that in mind, that you may see things crop up that I haven't mentioned. That's just kind of the way it goes on the first day of patches. But if you're running into an issue, go ahead and leave that in the comments section below, and I'll check that out when I get a chance. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't forget to whack the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more content. And if you don't want to be out of whack, there's another video on the screen right now that you can click to support more of my content.